Hey FlossTube, fellow Stitchers. I'm back after a long hiatus, and if you hear my voice, you will no doubt know why. I've been away. It's been kind of a rough 2 weeks for me, so hopefully my voice won't give out on me again while I'm doing this video, and we'll get through it all right. I hope you can handle my voice, because this is as good as it gets right now. Alright, so I've got a lot to share today. I'm going to start off with some explaining. I'm going to do a tag. I'm going to show you some of my progress. I'm going to share some more of my finishes, share a little bit of my stash. So I will get going with that. Last time I did my video, it was Friday the 13th. It was not a scary day. It was just a normal day. So I had explained in my last video that I was going to be going out to the store to finish some birthday gift shopping and get some grocery shopping done that evening. I came home, it was probably 9:30, 10 o'clock by the time I got home. I was just too tired to upload my video that night, so the next day was my niece's 5th birthday party. So we went to that, and by the time I got home from that, I was just way too exhausted to do the video again Saturday night. That's why it was pushed off until Sunday. So a little bit about the party. It was very interesting. It was very unusual. As I explained, we went to a pizza parlor for her birthday party. They apparently have gluten-free pizza there, unlike a lot of places I've been to. And I actually tried it. I thought for sure I was not going to risk it, but I spoke with the person who actually made the pizza, and they explained the ingredients. They told me that they make sure they use separate tools, separate cutters, separate ovens for baking the pizzas in. They couldn't assure me that it would be completely gluten-free, like, cross-contamination. But she did guarantee me that she tried, that she actually made it herself, and that she did all she could to make sure it was not cross-contaminated. So I risked it, I tried it, and I am glad to announce I've had no noticeable reaction, so I think we're good. I found a place I can go to actually have food prepared for me, so that's good. Now the party itself was a little bit unusual. It was a little bit awkward because the birthday parties were on these long tables in like 3 rows and like 4 tables, and so there was like 8 or 9 birthday parties going on in the room at the same time. Plus, half of the big huge room was an arcade. So it was so noisy in that room, you could barely hear yourself think, let alone carry on a meaningful conversation. So it was awkward. I don't know why I'm shivering right now. I'm not cold. I'm like literally just shaking while I'm sitting here. Why? Oh, weird. Alright, I'm going to try to calm down or something. Alright, I'm going to see if I can go from here. I don't know why I'm shaking, but I can handle this. Okay, I was going to explain just a little bit more about the after party. Because after the party was over, we ended up meeting up with my brother and sister-in-law and niece at the park, because we only had a separate 2-hour allotment of time to be at the pizza place. And so we decided to go, spend a little more time together at the park. So I had a little bit of a problem there because for some reason I've been getting dizzy a lot lately. I'm pretty sure it has to do with some of the other medical issues I've been dealing with. I'm literally shaking. Can you see that I'm shaking? And I don't know why. Anyway, I've been getting dizzy a lot lately, like sudden movements, even if I'm sitting still. If I just kind of move my neck back like that, sometimes I can just all of a sudden just be really dizzy. So, my niece wanted to play, and we were out at the park, and she wasn't allowed to go run off just yet. So I said, okay, well, here, take hold of my hands. And I took her, and I just very gently tried to spin her. Very gently, because of my shoulder. I didn't want to get my shoulder hurting really bad. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm confused. I'm perplexed by why my body is doing what it's doing right now. Anyway, so I tried spinning her gently. I don't think I even got a full rotation, and I was so dizzy that I had to stop, and I had to, tell her, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to wait for your uncles to come play with you. I can't spin you, I'm getting dizzy. So she was disappointed, but my brother came along within just a few minutes and took her off to the swing set. So they were over at the swings for like a half an hour. She has such a ball of energy. Honestly, she has so much energy in her. She could wear anyone down. After a time when the swings had kind of cleared up, because there were some other kids over there, I walked over and decided to sit on one of the swings with her, beside her, because one of my favorite things to do when I was young was swing on swings. I just absolutely love the rush and the movement of the wind, and just feeling like I'm going somewhere, like close my eyes and just feel that rush. That's one of my favorite sensations in the world. I love wind. I love, even walking out in storms. I just love being out in wind. I kicked off and I went two swoops, swoops, and I was just, all of a sudden, just nausea hit me, and I was like, wow, that's not gonna work. So swinging is not something I can do right now, and that's disappointing. Swinging is something I used to do so often. That's actually how I was injured when I was younger. I was swinging on a swing in the backyard on our tree, and I was getting some pretty good motion in there. And as I was coming backward, all of a sudden the tree, the rope snapped, and I flew backwards, and I landed on my knee really awkward, and caused myself a lot of pain in my knee, and I'm still dealing with that, and it's been probably a good 15 years since that happened. So yeah, love-hate relationship with swinging at this point in my life. Anyway, the other thing is right as we were going, we were gonna say goodbye, they told her to go say goodbye to all her her aunts and her uncles. And my brothers are all tall. They're all about 6 feet and taller. My mom is 5'4.5", and I'm 5'6". So she goes up to my brothers to give them hugs goodbye. She just grabs one of their legs. That's her way of hugging them. I don't like that, so I just decided I was going to bend down and just give her a proper hug. I didn't realize her energy was still so off the charts, off the walls, that when I leaned down to give her the hug, she jumped at my neck with enthusiasm, and I tried valiantly for 3 huge lunging steps to keep my balance and stay upright, and I couldn't, and I ended up landing almost on top of her. I was able to brace myself with my arms, but then that hurt my shoulder, and my upper back was really sore from that. So I guess having an extra 50 pounds suddenly lunge around your neck is not the best idea when you have some balance issues. So I'm going to have a talk with her later on and explain she's got to be more careful with Auntie, because I don't want that to happen again. Alright, anyway, Monday I woke up with a little tickle in my throat. Didn't think much of it, just thought, I had maybe caught something in my, a little bit of food in my throat, and was coughing a little bit. But Tuesday I woke up with my throat really, really sore. And throughout the day it got worse. I started getting my tonsils swelling up, and by the time I went to bed, I laid down in bed and I was literally shaking uncontrollably for like over an hour. I was under 2 blankets, a fleece blanket and a down blanket, plus a fleece bed jacket. I was not cold. but I was just shaking uncontrollably for about an hour and a half. So anyway, it was the next morning, Wednesday morning, I woke up and I felt like a semi-truck hit me. I felt absolutely horrible. I couldn't drag myself out of bed. When I finally had to get to the bathroom, my legs felt like noodles, and I just fell right back in my bed and stayed there all day long. I lost my voice officially on Friday. Like, completely lost my voice. Nothing. I could only whisper. And that lasted for about 3 days. So, for my voice to only start coming back on, when was it? It was Monday or Tuesday. It's been kind of a challenge to get it back up to where it is right now. Because it was really cutting out on me a lot. So I'm pretty convinced I had laryngitis. Finally feeling a little bit better, but it's still not sounding quite right. Not sounding lovely yet. So anyway, this too shall pass. It will pass. Anyway, like I said, I have a number of things to show you, but I thought I'd do a stitching tag today. And this one was courtesy of Pam Reeds, I do believe that was her name. Her first question was, what is your favorite fabric to stitch on? I know that there are a lot of people out there who absolutely, they swear by their linens and they absolutely love their linens. I'm more of an even weave girl. I don't know, I don't like the little slubs in the fabric. I don't like the unevenness of some of the stitches, so I really like my stitches to be very, very, very even, and so I typically go for like a 28-32 count Lugana. I'll go with Jobelan. I'll go with Jaslyn. I actually really like the stiffness of the Jaslyn, and I actually really like Monaco as well. I love the stiffness of the fabrics. I can pull my threads more taut that way, make sure my threads are more solidly placed. I really like that. I will use linen in a pinch if I find a particularly prettily hand-dyed piece, but I'm not a fan of Cashel. I don't like Cashel. I will go with Belfast if it is a linen. Second question is, do I use a hoop or a frame? Well, I don't use a hoop or a frame. I don't have a frame yet. Like I mentioned in my last video, I'm going to get one of those, hopefully before too long. But I'm using Q-snaps, so I don't consider those a hoop. I just call those Q-snaps. And I like my Q-snaps a lot. So, third question is, do you use a stand or hold it by hand? I don't have a stand, so I hold it by hand. 4, my favorite stitching time. Definitely after dinner is done in the evening. I mean, I like to stitch in the early morning hours after breakfast too if I get some free time, but I like the evening hours. I like the quiet. I'm definitely a night owl. I get off, my schedule gets off far too easily. There's a lot of nights I'm going to bed at 3, 4 in the morning. I don't wake up till noon. There are some times I've gotten so much into my stitching projects, I will literally stitch all through the night, and then I will have like a reverse schedule to where I'm waking up at 8 or 9 in the evening, and I will go to bed about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I hate when I get on that kind of a schedule, but sometimes it happens depending on how fervently I'm working on a project. So, sorry, you'll just learn some odd things about me. 5, do I use printed or digital patterns? Up to this point I've only used printed. I have some digital patterns, but I usually print them out. I prefer having the physical copy in front of me. Probably because I don't have an iPad. I just have a smartphone to do my videos on. I don't have an iPad yet, which would definitely make the screen easier to see. I stick with the printed out patterns for now. 6, are you a floss licker? I have always been a floss licker. I've never really thought twice about it. The only time I will use a needle threader is sometimes when I'm using chronic, because that can be a little trickier to thread the needle. And by the way, that brings up another point. I was going to show you this. Some people show really, really expensive, nice needle threaders. I just found these at Joann's and they work great. Singer brand. And they were cute. I got a couple of these, and this is my secondary package. So 3 decorative needle threaders, and I had a really good like 60% off coupon or something, so they were $1.40 or something like that. Number 7, do you hoard or buy supplies as needed? That depends on what the item is. When I buy things, I like to buy them with a purpose. When I spend money on my hand-dyed fabrics, I like to have a project in mind. I've bought some extra patterns, surely. I bought some extra fabric when I found some on a really good deal or when there's a really good sale. But like I said, usually I have to have something in mind. And sometimes those projects don't work out like I planned. And then I'll just put that in my bin, and then, you know, usually I'm able to find something immediately. I'm very quick at, when I see a piece of fabric, I usually within like 5 minutes of seeing the fabric, I will, that's exactly what I'm going to stitch on that. It feels like inspired, like just, I don't know, it just hits me what something is meant for. And so that's how that works. So I wouldn't call myself a hoarder. With my hand-dyed fabrics, my hand-dyed fibers, I definitely buy them when I need them. So I guess I'm just, I mean, it depends. it depends. All right, number 8. What is your favorite floss to use? I do like, I mean, I generally just use my DNC. I mean, like other people have said, it's so readily available. Although the price did just jump up from 40 to 52 cents a skein this last week. I do enjoy the hand-dyeds, the Karen water lilies and the silks. I love the feel of those. I don't use them terribly often though. But I do like Anchor floss. I think Anchor floss is a little bit nicer, a little bit higher quality than DMC is at this point. I think they've gone down in quality a lot. But yeah, generally I'll stick with DMC. I've never tried Sullivan's or I don't go for no-name threads. Alright, number 9 is, are you a serial starter or are you a whip at a time person? I am by no means a serial starter. I have always been a one at a time person, except it's kind of been wearing on me because I generally stitch larger pictures, and so I've been finding myself getting frustrated in sticking my projects away for half a year or a year at a time because it can be overwhelming. So I have begun to start having 2-3 projects on it at a time. Something small, something big, and then something I know that's I'm going to be working on for a while, such as a HAED. Definitely have started a little more options with that. 10. Do I have more UFOs or more FFOs? Well, good question. I think I only have about 2 UFOs. So I would have to say FFOs. Even though I haven't framed a lot of pictures, I have fully finished a lot of ornaments. And I have given some gifts away that were fully finished. So yeah, FFOs for sure. Alright, number 11. Do I watch TV while stitching? I do. But usually it's like Netflix programs. I usually have set shows I like. I've recently got into the Great British Baking Program. That's loads of fun. I enjoyed that. I watched all 3 seasons really quickly. And wish there were more seasons of that available. I actually I stick to TV shows. Sometimes I'll watch movies if I've watched them before, if I'm really familiar with them, so I can kind of focus on my stitching. But I've actually been getting to the point where I really prefer my audiobooks. So I've been looking for some good audiobooks. Free ones would be preferable. I like my Narnia books. I listen to D. Henderson stories. I have some Julie Klassen stories. Yeah, I need to expand that because I find I can put way more focus on my stitching when I'm listening to a story. I can listen to some music, but some people have said that the rhythm can be a bit distracting, and I have to agree with that. Number 12, do you mostly stitch alone or with other stitchers? Well, I stitch with my mom a lot. So, I actually live with my parents for the time being. Because of my health issues right now, I can't hold down a job. So my parents have been gracious to let me live with them. And so, yeah, I stitch with my mom an awful lot. We keep each other motivated. FlossTube keeps us motivated. But yeah, I do stitch with other stitchers if my mom counts. I stitch with myself sometimes, but not terribly often. Yeah. Number 13, do you like to experiment with a chart or stitch it as it's charted? I do a lot of alterations. Even when I'm stitching a project and I don't have any plans to change it, like recharting it or converting the colors, I will find myself altering the way I'm stitching it, like to keep in the lines. I've stitched some projects, like soda projects, for instance, where there's a lot of stitches that are outside of the outlining. I will definitely stitch all inside the outlining. I do change a lot of colors. I'm not shy about that. And I have been known to alter like appendages, arms, hands, faces, add faces to like Nora Corbett fairies when they don't have faces. I've been known to do that sort of thing. So no, I'm not shy about altering projects, patterns at all. I know that some people say that's an insult to the designers, but I don't think so. I think, you know, you're using mainly what they designed. You had to have liked it for some reason. You have to appreciate it for some reason. You just want to put your own flair on things. So, not shy about that at all. Number 14, do you bobbinate? I do. I really, I like bobbinating. I actually enjoy bobbinating. But I don't bobbinate until I need the thread, until I need the flosses. I keep the skeins in a bin, you know, until I need them, and then I'll bobbinate them for each individual project. I am not a floss waster, so I will use as much of each skein as I can. Yeah. Number 15. Do you start in the middle or the corner? I have always started in the middle, which is actually kind of challenging for me because the way I stitch works better to work in a downward motion. So I can work downward, but then I have a hard time getting back up to the top. But anyway, it works out. I make it work. But I will start in the corner if I am, for instance, starting a HAED. Definitely start in the corner. I'm going to experiment a little bit more with that because some of the projects I'm stitching have literally a frame or a border around them of stitches. So I think I can experiment with that a bit and start in the corner on some of those. Number 16, do you have a whip rotation? Not a strict rotation, but I do have 3 projects I'm going between right now. And that's unusual for me. Like I said, I'm usually a one-at-a-time stitcher. So this whole FlossTube video thing has actually been quite an adjustment for me because I have, you know, been on some message boards. I've always been a person that likes to keep my progress to myself and then have the grand reveal in the end. I just love that. It feels more, I don't know, more special, more exciting to me when I can be just talking about it, not showing it, and then all of a sudden, woohoo, a finish. So this is an adjustment for me, showing a little progress by little progress. I'm getting used to it, but I still love the grand reveal. 17, do you use a timekeeper? No, just my watch. If I want to keep time, I will, maybe note that I worked from 9:30 to midnight one night. But for the most part, I just, on my little pocket calendar, I just notate which project I started on what day and what day I ended it. That's enough for me. I don't need to know how many hours I logged or how many stitches I logged. That kind of, I feel like that takes away from the fun of the project, and it's going to take a lot more time. It's kind of like, for me, gridding. I don't grid my projects. I feel like that takes a lot of time out of my actual stitching. Alright, number 18, do you park? I'm beginning to park because I'm starting a new HAED and I've just learned the parking technique. So I'm starting to park. It's something new for me, so not a whole lot, but I'm getting there. Number 19, do you keep orts? I have in the past, but I don't know. I do some, and then I toss. I toss it. But, no, I actually heard Carolyn Mazzio in a video say that she stuffed her ornaments with the orts, and I thought that was brilliant, so I'm actually thinking about doing that. At one time I had been told, oh, keep your orts and then throw them outside and the birds will gather them for their nests, and then you can maybe go out and find some colorful thread nests. And I thought that was really cool, but I tried that one time and I just ended up finding wet clumps all over the ground and then getting caught in the lawnmower. So yeah, I'm gonna maybe keep them for ornament stuffing, but no more nest fillings. Alright, number 20, I believe this is the last question. Do you like to snack or drink while stitching? I do not snack while stitching. If I'm going to snack, I will put my stitching away from me, snack, wash my hands, and then come back to my stitching. If I'm going to drink, I have a handy dandy sealable thermos. This has hot water in it right now for my throat. I will take a sip. Oh yeah. I don't keep open drinks around my stitching at all. So everything is in a sealed thermos. Keeps it hot way longer, keeps it cold way longer. Works great for me, and that's the way I go about that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that tag. I'm going to do some more tags in the future, but I'm still new to them. I'm still trying to locate them. If you have a particular tag you'd like me to do, go ahead and comment about it. And I'll see what I can do about that. Alright, so now, I guess I'll go ahead and show you my progress. So, as we all know, I have been working on my Mirabilia Persephone, and because my HAED kind of had a little problem with that, I got some extra work in on my Persephone. So I will go ahead and post right here a picture of where we ended before. Okay, so this is how far I have come this week. So this is my progress. As you can see, I've really got quite a bit done in her, the bottom swoop of her skirt. So pretty much, goodness, this fabric is so limp. Pretty much from about there, and then I filled in all of this green. So kind of almost from that finger to that finger down. Pretty much. I mean, I showed you a picture. Anyway, that's what that's looking like. And I'm really liking that purple. Again, I think it's looking really good. I have not done the border stitch. There's one border stitch around the bottom. I'm just going to come back around and do that very last. So anyway, she's coming along good. I'm happy with her. Let me just fold her up real quick. Alright. Now, I don't have any progress to show on my HAED because, and I just realized I left my glasses on for this video. I wasn't going to. I guess the glare isn't that bad though. Okay. Wow, I didn't realize that. No progress on my HAED because I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. My mom is trying to convince me to try the 18 counts, and I'm willing to give it a try before I rip out what I did, because I haven't been able to decide if I was going to keep doing it 2/1 on the 22 or do the 1/1 on the 22. I'm still debating that. So before I rip it out, I'm going to try the 18 count and see how I like that. I actually have a HAED story I was going to share before. I know a lot of you probably were wondering why it was hitting me so hard, the problem with the HAED. I actually have tried one HAED before, and it did not end well. So I had started stitching on a project about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was called, I believe it was called The Little Dancer by Sandra Cook. I'll go ahead and insert a picture right here. I started stitching this project about 5 or 6 years ago, and I had got quite a bit done. I'm going to take my glasses off just so that I'm not glare anymore. I'd gotten quite a lot done, and I was getting ready to move my Q-snap, to relocate my Q-snap so that I could keep going and moving around. And I pulled off my Q-snap, and I was horrified to find somehow I had stitched it the wrong direction. You can tell by the picture I showed you that it is a portrait shape picture where it's tall and skinny. I had started stitching, and I'll show it from your perspective, not mine. I had started stitching what should have been the top right, the top left corner, and I'd gotten a bunch of that done. Apparently, somehow I had turned my fabric, and in the process, instead of stitching up on this top corner, I was actually stitching that part here, to where I was stitching it literally the wrong direction. Now, if you happen to miscount your fabric, and you happen to be over too far to one side, or not have left yourself a full 6 inches, that's kind of, you can manage a lot of the time with that. But when you literally stitch a project the wrong direction on a very, very specifically sized piece of fabric, there's no fixing that. So that was a lot of work, and I gave up on that. I don't know, I felt really, really burned on that. It was my own fault. No one did it to me. So now, when I start a new project, I clearly mark on my Q-snap. I have one of my clamps with a sticker on the top that says top, so that I don't confuse it anymore, because that was horrible. That made me feel so bad, and I just about gave up on HAEDs altogether. I just about said I'm never stitching another HAED. They're too hard and they're too easy to mess up on. So that's one of the reasons why I was extra upset about this. But no, I will keep going with this. No, don't worry about that. But anyway, I don't have any progress to show, so I'll have to get going on that and then build up some progress. Okay, but I will show you this because I have a new start. And yes, it is all thanks to you wonderful enablers out there. I believe it was Kay's Cross Stitch. Kay, hello. You guys started talking, and then Stitcherisa mentioned it. You guys mentioned Satsuma Street patterns. I'd never looked into them before. And I don't know what those are. I looked into them on Etsy, and I came across one in particular, and I went a little silly over it. I don't know why. I think it's because it means a little bit to me. Anyway, so I bought it, and it's called Pretty Little Washington. Okay, not only is the picture adorable, but it's all in pastel colors. It's not bright, vivid, weird primal orange and yellows and everything. It's in the pinks and the purples and the turquoises and the aquas that I love. I got this. We had taken a trip to Washington, D.C. about 12 years ago for a conference. I went with my parents and my brothers for a conference, and I had really hoped we could do some sightseeing while we were there. It was so lovely. We just passed by some of the main attractions, the main landmarks, and being there is it's unlike any place I've ever been before. I've done quite a bit of traveling. The feeling of being there is so unique, and there's like an exhilaration about being there. I didn't get to do any sightseeing while I was there, and I was so disappointed with that. But I really wanted to do something cool to commemorate that trip, and it took me 12 years to find a pattern that fits, and I'm thrilled with it. I love it. So anyway, the other night I started it on a little hand-dyed blue and white like a sky fabric. I started that. Don't have a whole lot started on there yet, but it is coming together. By the way, this is a needle minder that I made myself, and I really loved that turquoise color. Iridescent flower. But anyway, this is really special to me. I'm really excited. And what's cool about this project is, I'm going to show you this. Okay, so again, this is the project. There's so much to this pattern, okay? So, this building, where is it? This building here, that is the Jefferson Memorial. This building here, this is the United States Capitol. This one here, of course, is the Washington Monument. And this one in here, no, this one here is the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History. Number 5 is right in here. That's the tidal basin. Number 6, of course, here is the White House. No, sorry, here is the White House. I'm a little bit confused on the angle. Number 7 is down here. This is the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. Number 8, which is right here, is the Lincoln Memorial. And number 9, right here along the bottom, is the Francis Scott Key Bridge. I love that. I think that's so cool that they can cram so much detail and so many landmarks into one small little picture. It's not very big. It's such a petite little picture, but I really love it. Okay. So those are my current whips. I've only been working on that little Washington for one day, so one evening. So not a whole lot of progress, but it's getting there and I'm excited about it. Okay, next I'm going to show you some finishes, because I mentioned I was going to be showing some finishes in my next videos. So I'm going to start with some non-mirrors to begin with. This one, I wish I could remember when I stitched this. Actually, I can. I didn't realize I marked it. Okay, I stitched this one in 09. And I think this is just called Paris by Lenart. This was actually a really good learning lesson for me, because I learned while stitching this project, if you're going to stitch a lot of black, you need to stitch all the other colors around where the black is first, because all that color is going to pick up a dark hue. I found that out and I had to do a lot of ripping, but I finished it and I think it's cute. I cannot read that, but I like it. And I'm thinking about taking out her lip, because it's in black, and just stitching it in red. That's the only thing I would change about that. But that's that picture. I stitched that about 8 years ago. Okay, the next picture is this one. And this one I just stumbled upon one day on the internet and grabbed it because I thought it was adorable. This one is just Yellow Fairy by Lansvit, which is a Russian company, Russian brand. I thought she was really adorable. And I stitched her on a 25 count Opal Lugana. I was wondering if I had done it 28 or 25, but it's 25. She's really adorable. Very, very cute for a little girl's room someday. I could even make that for my niece if I really wanted to. Okay. The next one I stitched, which is kind of a little bit of a funny story, is this one. And this one, of course, is in honor of Anne of Green Gables. This is Anne and Diana for sure, even though that's not what it really literally is. That's what it looks like, so that's what it is. It had taken me a long time to stitch that. This one in my UFO pile for a while. I hadn't finished one of their legs. I can't remember which. I pulled it out and my mom said, "You've got to finish that." I said, "I'm not in the mood, Mom. I'm not in the mood." She goes, "Oh, just hand it to me." So she finished one of their legs, and I don't know which one it was. I just don't. But they're cute. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm kind of past this style. It's a little more simplistic than I like at this point, but it's still cute. It can still go in a little girl's room somewhere. I will try to find the name of that pattern and insert it. I can't remember what it is. This is one of the last completely FOs that I stitched, and this was this was early last year. I think I finished this in February of last year. This is, of course, Merry Christmas, My Dear by Country Cottage Needlework. I absolutely love that picture. It's so adorable, and I love this piece of fabric. My first time buying this piece of fabric, I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna see if sometime I can pick up another piece or two of this for some other projects, because I want to do some more Country Cottage needlework. They're so small, but they're such quick little stitches, but they make me smile. They make me happy. I'd love to try some different colors in this fabric. Definitely something I'm looking for, because I love that fabric. It's so cute, and I love the pattern. Oh, and I did use some hand-dyed fibers in that. I used the variegated colors it called for, except, I just remembered this, the color for the red, it called for one specific color, and I used a DMC variation instead, because the color was so similar. So I used this like a burgundy and orangey red variation, and it looks just fine. I don't think anyone would notice any difference at all. So, great. I love that one. This project I also stitched in 09, and you will have to forgive the dark surrounding on the fabric. I tried putting it in a frame and it got some dark on it, so I need to wash this again. This is, oh, I don't remember the name of it. I'll have to put it down below. I loved this project. This was one of the first ones I finished, and I just love that one. Of course, I love Paris-themed things. I love the romantic Frenchy style. I love butterflies. I love scrapbooks. I love postcards and the pens, and it's really so very pretty. Love that one. Going to frame it. I tried framing it, like I said, and I wrecked it, so now I have to wash it and try to reframe it again. Okay. Now here is actually a piece that I stitched. Sorry, I've got an eyelash. It's actually a project I did on a hand-dyed fabric. I mean, HandDyedDiva, I've got to show you something on a hand-dyed fabric, right? This one is, I love this one. I don't have it completely finished yet. I still have some beads to put in there. Like I mentioned before, till I get the frame, I'm not doing the beads, but it's not such a big deal. And then, I'll show you as I go. I love this one. This one's called Mediterraneo by Passion Ricamo. This is again another ode to Anne and Gilbert from Anne of Green Gables. I love this project. I love the scenery. I love the beach. Now, this is the part I've got to explain. If you can see in the sky kind of picks up a little bit of the sunset. These right down here are not finished. I was too impatient to actually stitch them in, so I just took the Krunik temporarily, and I just went from one point to the other point. I did not connect them in between. So as soon as I get them beaded, I will complete doing those lines completely. But they're all just kind of hanging loose in the back, so it looks really bad. But anyway, I love this project, And I've already decided I'm going to, somewhere down below in the tile area, I'm going to put an Anne of Green Gables quote somewhere in this picture. I just love it. First Passion or Camo I stitched. Oh, and this was a Silk Weaver solo. A lot of my pieces are solos. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I got in on the solos. The very first hand-dyed pieces I bought were solos, back when Tracy was dyeing them. And this is a 28 count solo in purples with some orangey tones. So sorry, my throat, I need to clear it. Alright, I'm going to show you a couple of my mirrors, and I didn't realize until I pulled this out to show you, I actually forgot to put the Karen Water Lily scrolls on the back. So this is Nora Corbett's Sweet Pea. She was the first, one of the first pixies I stitched. I absolutely love her. I removed the wings. Okay, I've got a couple things to mention. First, I stitched her skin 1/1. I changed her profile. I changed her hand a little bit. I recharted her legs. I gave her cuter feet. I recharted her feet. I took out that weird little hook thing on the back of her back. I don't know what that is to this day. I need to put the Karen Water Lily swirls around her. That's what makes her so fun and frilly. I love scroll work. I don't know why I forgot to do that, but I'm going to do that. Anyway, I love her. Sweet Pea by Nora Corbett. Again on a Silk Weaver solo, which was... sorry. This is also a 28 count. Really liked that one. I love fabric with a lot of personality. This one's a little wild, but I don't know, it's really pretty. Alright, I got a couple more. This is, again, not quite fully finished because it's not beaded yet, but this is Venetian Opulence from Mirabilia. She is so pretty. I loved her so much. I love her bright, vivid colors. I mean, I love teals. I love purples. I love those berry tones. I even like some limited amounts of that lime green. This is so pretty. A story about her too. I thought I was stitching her on 28 count. I didn't realize until I started stitching it, it was 25 count. She is massive. She is massive. But she's so pretty. I'm so happy with her. She's so pretty. Ugh, I love her. Yes, 25 count. And I believe this is just Mushroom Lugana. So, and then for now, the last one I'm going to show you is again a Mirabilia. And it's not quite beaded yet, but this one is called Mediterranean Mermaid. Ah, I loved her on that piece of fabric. I spotted that fabric and I was like, she is so meant for that fabric. I stitched her skin 1/1. I upped her dress just a little bit. She was showing quite a lot of cleavage there almost, so I just kind of added a few more stitches, made her slightly more decent in the chest area. Not a big deal. I mean, just like one line of stitches. But I really, really like her, and I love this fabric. I do have the bead pack for it. I just am not ready to bead it yet. But I have the bead pack. I love that. This is, again, a Silk Weaver solo. And I believe this is 32 count. So 32 count with 1/1 skin is kind of intense for me, but I did it because she needed it so bad. She just needed that prettiness. So anyway, there's that. So I have, I definitely have more finishes, but like I mentioned before, I'm only going to show you some at a time, because I've got to make this stuff stretch. So how many is that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I showed you 9 today. That's not too bad. Alright, now I thought I'd show you a couple of my needle minders, because I got a couple new batches of needle minders within the last couple months. I'm trying to not overdo it, but it's so easy to overdo it. I admit, this last 2 weeks has been pretty rough for me, and I needed to pick me up, so I placed a couple needle minder orders. I wasn't going to. Like I told you, I was going to try to do Stitch from Stash and not spend more money right now, but that lasted a very short amount of time. So I have an order from Sammy's Crafts coming on Etsy. I had ordered from her a couple months ago, and when my order arrived, I loved everything, but one of the minders was not included. I wrote her, she said it was no longer available, she had no more of them, so she offered to send me another one of my choice from England. I went through her things, found a couple more I wanted, actually 3 or 4 more that I wanted. I mentioned, can I just add a couple more to that and give you a couple dollars towards the shipping? She said, I'm just going to send you a free shipping order, just send what you want. Free shipping code, just buy what you want, and I'll send them along. I went a little crazy and I bought myself 9 more minders. A couple of them are from my mom. I'm not terribly greedy. A couple of them are from my mom. And then, within the last couple of days, I ordered a couple more orders. One from Needle Attractions. And then I bought a couple things to make into minders. So, alright, so I'll go ahead and show you this. This is my one and only order from Needle Minder Obsession, Christine Brown. She's in Australia, and I absolutely love this order. Oh my goodness, if I can show you without glaring. This is little Ariel mermaid. This little owl with the rhinestones. I love that owl. He was actually the reason why I placed the order, because I couldn't find him anywhere else. And then this gorgeous fleur-de-lis. I love fleur-de-lis. I'm so glad I found that. So anyway, I found him, wanted to place the order. It was like $7 shipping. I finally found this one. I was like, okay, the shipping's feeling a little more worth it now. But then I found her and I was like, okay, just going to be a trio. So I placed that order. I absolutely love them. Can you see the details? They're so sparkly. I put the mermaid on my project and it was just shimmer like mad. They're so cute, so adorable. I love these minders. Some of my favorite ones I've gotten. Just love those. And then she wrote me back a day or 2 after I ordered them, and she sent me back a partial refund for the shipping, so I was surprised by that. So the shipping didn't cost me quite as much as I had groaned about. Alright, and then I'm just going to show you a couple that I've made for myself, because I've bought a few things and I've made them into minders. So this is another little batch. So, oh, too much glare, too much glare. Can I do this without getting too much glare? Oh well, I'm just going to try. So here is a Barbie silhouette head. Here is a little kitty cat cameo. I love that kitty cat cameo. It's so petite as well. And then here is a little red brunette elf. And I made those, and they're so cute and sweet. And they're full legit needle minders. So I love those. And I've got some more ones that I made myself I can show as I go along. I'm going to show you little bits and pieces as I go, not everything all at once. Okay, so I've shown you most of the things I was going to show. I think the only thing I was going to show you now was, while I was dealing with the first 3 or 4 days of being sick, honestly, I felt so horrible all over. My whole body ached. I had a horrible headache for like 5 days solid. I couldn't stitch. So I set about making some more scissor fobs, and I thought I would just showcase a few of the scissor fobs that I've just made, just so you can see them. They are available at my Etsy store, and I will link my Etsy shop below. These are some of the needle minders I just finished, and I've just started making some brass ones. So this is my turquoise and coral version. And maybe I can just hold it up in front of my face and it'll be better. This is my turquoise and coral and my little floral bronze charm. And if you can see in this bead, oh, I'm way off. It's got multiple colors in there. It's got turquoise and coral stripes. So those beads really pop on that. I think that one's exceptionally pretty, actually. And then the next one I have is my pink and green. And it's not showing up very well, but it's got little green crystal beads here, crackle beads here, clear beads, white pearls, and then in the middle it's got this bead, clear bead with a pink rose in the middle, and it just is a really pretty combination of looks there. I liked that one too. I like them all. Who am I kidding? Like I said, I've had the hardest time deciding which scissor fobs to sell because I just end up liking so many of them. And then this is a red, white, and blue. I'm not liking this to show you my work. Okay, this will work good. Okay, that's better. This is my red, white, and blue with a teapot. And I thought it kind of gave it a little Mary Englebright look to it. I thought that turned out really cute, and it's a bold pop of color. I don't know if you have specific scissors like Ginger scissors. I'm willing to take order requests on my Etsy shop. If you like a certain fob and you'd like a certain color palette, write me and I'll see what I can do for you. I've got a lot of different charm styles. I've got cats, I've got turtles, I've got mermaids, I've got teapots, I've got sewing machines, I've got just lots of different things. Here's another one I just made, and this one is all in shades of green. I went dark green at the bottom, and then I gradually went softer, and then I put a little owl in the top of the tree, like he's perched up there on the top of the tree. So I thought that one was cute. And these, honestly, these are so much prettier in person than they're showing up in the video or in the pictures I was able to capture online. I don't know why they're just not showing up in pictures well, but they're so pretty in person. And then I have this one, which is a Tinkerbell charm. And of course, it's in green. So I've got different sizes of green beads, and I got a square bead in the center. And like I said, they're all crystal or glass beads, unless I specify. Every once in a while I'll use an acrylic bead, but I do always specify that. Okay, got some Aurora Borealis ones in there. And then this is the last one I'll show you today. This one I think is really pretty. And this one is one of those rare ones that has an acrylic bead. But this is a sewing machine, and it's a soft, pale baby blue. The middle bead in the center is an acrylic crackle bead. And these are all crystal beads and a little Aurora Borealis beads in the center. They're very cute. Now, it depends on what size scissor you have, because I use 2 different sizes of clasps on the tops. I find, depending on your scissor, you can use the smaller or the larger. I mean, there's no real set way they work. You can kind of just mull it over if you think a 29mm clasp would work, or if you need one that's a little bit bigger than that. So anyway, I think that's all I have for you. Goodness, this video is over an hour now. I hope I haven't bored you guys. I guess I've had a slight bit of concern the last week or two because I've noticed a few subscribers have unsubscribed, and I didn't know why. Of course, everyone has their reasons. Either I talk too much, or I don't show what they want to see, or my style is different from their style. Maybe I'm just too silly. Maybe my background isn't interesting enough. I don't know. I did just add this little magnet board back here, which is my temporary fill-in until I get up to IKEA. I'd really love to get the IKEA needle minder board, but I've never been to IKEA, and it's over an hour away. My brother said he was going to go for me the other day and pick me up one, and he didn't end up getting there. So, boo-hoo, I'm sad about that. I'm trying to talk them into doing something, go together for me. My birthday's in July. Please get me the magnet board. I would love that. But, anyway, this is my fill-in magnet board for right now. I got it at Walmart, and it works also as a, you can write on it and erase it. So it's a, what is that? Dry erase board. It's the dual dry erase board magnet board. So anyway, I hope I can keep you guys interested. I hope my absence from making the videos wasn't the reason for some people going away. But anyway, thank you for those who have subscribed. Thank you for those who have commented, given me thumbs up. I appreciate it. I hope I can keep some interest going for you all, because I've really enjoyed watching the videos. You don't know how much I watched while I was sick, but I've enjoyed watching the videos, and I'm just excited to be a part of it, and hope I can, you know, get well and just keep on a regular routine of updating videos and posting more whips and posting more finishes, and yeah, looking forward to that. So anyway, I hope your week has been full of stitchy goodness, and that you made a lot of progress on your projects, that you are all well, that this bug isn't going around the country, because it's not a fun one. It's not a fun one at all. So, until next time, ciao for now.